This goes for all my classes. This was a disaster for some of you. Some of you had a hard time understanding what happens when you have an isosceles right triangle that are known as a 45, 45, 90, and this. It was bad, and the problem is if this is bad, I don't know how you're gonna get to what we are doing today. So, we're gonna review this again before we get started. All right, y'all, put your 90 degrees and mark those congruent because an isosceles right triangle has 45 degrees and 45 degrees. Now, I don't know what's better, but we're just gonna review the relationships. I'm gonna use X. You have a paper, and actually a girl from my first bell pulled it out today in XH that says, if you're trying to find the hypotenuse, do this. Do y'all remember I gave you some notes just on special right triangles? So if you're way behind, I would go to that because I can't slow down. So what I want you to do is put an X here. What's this leg, everybody?
Y. Oh,
X. X. Why is it X? Because they're the same, okay? So here's the deal. If this is X and this is X, do you remember what you do to a leg to get to the hypotenuse of a 45, 45, 90? Multiply by radical 2. So this would be X radical 2. Okay? So, I don't typically do this, but let's do a quick, so you might want to just kind of understand that this is the generic, okay? Now, let's do a quick little problem over here to review as an example, because you're going to have to do this on your own, okay? And I'm not going to go the easy way. All right, here we go. I'm going to tell you right now that the hypotenuse of this isosceles right triangle is 4. What are we gonna do? Now keep in mind, here we went from leg, we multiplied by radical 2. What am I gonna do to the hypotenuse to get to the legs? So right now, let's do 4 divided by radical 2. Now your job is to rationalize this, not mine. So you need to multiply by radical 2 over radical 2, which would be 4 radical 2 over 2. And what is 4 radical 2 over 2 gonna give us? 2 radical 2, because those go in, right? So therefore, that would be 2 radical 2, and that would be 2 radical 2. Does everybody remember doing this?
Yes.
Okay, let's go on over here. 30, 60, 90. The angle that looks a little smaller, please mark 30 degrees, and this one is 60. None of these sides are ever equal. This is not an isosceles right triangle, okay? Now, if you remember, we have a short leg, we have a long leg, and we have a hypotenuse. The short leg is across from the 30, so let's call that X. Do you remember what you do to the short leg to get to the hypotenuse? Long leg. Good, you multiply it by radical 3. And then do you remember what you do to the short to get to the hypotenuse? Multiply by 2, you double it. So once again, I'm not going to do an example for this one, but that's going to be your generic, okay? All right, you ready to apply this?
Yeah.
Okay.